and welcome to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined by my most wonderful, my tongue is all tongue-tied today, but that's okay. I am joined by my
That's
most
okay.
wonderful co-host, Audrey Lynch.
Good afternoon, Veronique.
It's wonderful to be together again. Unfortunately, Judy wasn't able to join us today. She had a conflict in her schedule, but we'll be back
hmm
together after the holiday. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, which is probably one of my favorite times of the year, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So Audrey is going to kick off our show with the quote of the day. So take it away, Audrey.
Yes, I am actually going to quote a little piece out of this book. It's by Brené Brown. She's the author. This was a #1 New York Times bestseller, sold over 2 million copies. Now, this was a book that I got, was recommended. Brené Brown, this author was recommended when I was looking for a gift for my oldest daughter, Teresa, who loves to read. And they thought that this would be perfect for her. So I read a little bit of it and got a glimpse of it. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection is the book that she wrote here. She actually has a number of other books that I think are quite inspirational, but I wanted to read a passage that she has on the back of this book. Okay. Brené Brown says, owning our story can be hard, but not nearly as difficult as spending our lives running from it. Embracing our vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy. The experiences that make us the most vulnerable, only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. And I just
Amazing.
thought that it gives me goosebumps to read that, even when I read that last night as well. And one of the sweet things is I have this book now because my daughter, who just recently left a few weeks ago to go off and take some international studies in Spain, like I've mentioned before, left this book for me because she's completed it on my pillow. So when I came home, after dropping her off and shedding a few tears on my way home, she had left this book for me, and she's got a number of things underlined in it and things like that. And for me to read this book knowing she's already gone through it is actually going to be, I think, extra special for me. But I just love the title, The Gifts of Imperfection, and how that is just so true. That is so true that we all, as human beings on this earth, have our imperfections, but that does not have to be who we are.
Absolutely. And I think, oftentimes we strive for perfection when we really should be
Mm,
striving for progress. It's practice makes progress instead of practice makes perfect. And it's really tough to be vulnerable. It's tough to show your vulnerabilities and to be open and honest in a lot of cases, because it's tough to get judged, right? But you know what,
mm,
the more that we talk about those imperfections and the more that we're able to be human and open, I think the better we are as people.
yes, definitely. I think failure is one of the main ways that we all grow. That, without failing, you can't have that growth. You can't get better. You can't be who you truly want to be and strive, and aim for your goals. I think that that is just something that we all have. And, it makes us a better person every day when we get up the next day.
Absolutely. And I think it's Michael Jordan that said it, the basketball player, that he has failed 100 times and that's
Mm,
why he succeeds, because he has learned from every one of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
So true. So don't
Yeah.
be scared to fail, right?
No, no. And I mean it's tough at the time, right? Because you think, oh, I'm never gonna get past this or get over it or whatever it may be. But it does come. You can
Yeah.
learn and you can get better. So
Yeah. No.
so it's my favorite time of year,
hmm
the
I
fall,
I love it
because
too.
it's like
I do.
it is like it's 22 degrees, which is a perfect temperature. The nights are
Yes.
cooler and you can sleep and all that kind of stuff. And and it's one of my favorite holidays, which is Thanksgiving weekend coming up.
Mm.
And in our family, this time of year actually is a huge time of year because we have birthdays and anniversaries. So
Oh, okay.
I'll just give you the quick run. Yeah, I'll give you the quick rundown. You'll see why I say that. So Gerard and Judy's anniversary is October 8th. My parents' anniversary is October 11th. My great aunt Pam, her birthday is the 12th. My uncle Arthur, his birthday is the 13th. My birthday is the 14th. My cousin Mia is the 15th. My uncle Gerard is the 16th. And then my other cousin Evan is the 31st.
October is just like a huge full on party for you guys.
We don't stop ever. Anyway, it is my absolute favorite time of year, and I love turkey dinner. Now, of course, I've been cooking the last couple of years, so it's kind of become
Hmm.
my specialty now. But what's your
Hmm.
favorite thing about the fall, Audrey?
I'd have to say I do look forward to that air when you walk outside, and you smell that fresh fall air and you can just feel, there's something about it that takes me back to when I was a child and walking outside, going for a walk in the woods and the leaves are on the ground and that crunching sound, and it's just so fresh and crisp and energizing. It really is. And now that I have four children of my own, and having that big Thanksgiving dinner, I look forward to, as much work as it is, with cooking the different things and having my own traditions with my family and having the kids. You're going to make this, right, and you're going to cook that, right, and they look forward to what I've been doing all these years. And I'd have to say that is definitely. I did have Thanksgiving though in September, as well, because of Teresa going away, of course. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go right back at it again. We'll probably do my husband's mom, so the family tends to all go over there. So I look forward to sharing all the work with the rest of the family. So that would have to be my favorite time for the fall as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I love the weather. I do love it. I love the summer because the days are longer, and you can.
Mm.
I love the idea of having a bonfire at night, and watching the river go
Hmm.
by and all of that kind of stuff. But the fall is definitely my favorite time of year, and all that it brings. And it's funny because the for me, mom was a teacher for 32 years, and so September always was a
Mm.
new year for us, more so than in
Right.
January. It was, it was a new beginning,
True.
and we were starting all sorts of stuff. So, I still feel like I'm in the new year. We still celebrate that, even though mom's been retired for a number of years. But I love the fall season, and all that it brings, because it means that there's some cool stuff on the way. But anyway, so lots going on these days. We're struggling as a province now, with
Hmm.
COVID outbreaks in many of the areas of the province, and we really just, our thoughts and well wishes are definitely with all of those, especially
Mm.
everyone that's in the hospital currently, and we all know someone who's been affected. So, it's a
Definitely.
tough time, for us, and I know, just like everybody else out there, is that we're tired of having that conversation about COVID, right? Whether you are, pro vaccine, and I hate even putting those labels on there, or don't feel that the vaccine is
Exactly.
for you, or do feel the vaccine is for you. It's everybody's tired, everybody is at their limit, and everybody is struggling in
Yeah.
some way with,
Yeah.
everything to do with COVID.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I think we're all at that point now where we're just waiting for something better.
Yes, hoping and praying for a miracle, definitely, that we can get back to some sense of normalcy. I'll agree with my youngest daughter. This is supposed to be a very, very exciting year for her. She's going into grade 12, and everything is still just so up in the air on how it'll all really go. She's finding it, instead of something to look forward to, she's finding it very stressful and worrying about whether or not there's going to be a prom and whether there's going to be a graduation. Should I bother picking out a dress? Should I, there's just so many things. And along with, mentally worrying about, what it means for her for a future too, after graduation. And It is. It's draining
Absolutely.
mentally and physically to always be concerned. She knows mom has her own business and what that will mean as well, if things get worse or if more restrictions come into place. And for, for the younger generation to have to carry that load on top of being a teenager is hard enough on its own, right? I can't imagine,
Oh yeah.
having this on top of all of that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's mentally draining for everyone, right? Because
Mm,
people
yeah.
just want what's best, right? Whether they're thinking about
Yeah.
what they feel is best for themselves or best for the general,
Yeah.
public or whatever it may be. People, and I can't imagine how exhausted mentally and physically Dr. Russell is and the other chief medical officers
Mm,
across the country and around the world, really, because this hasn't
hmm.
stopped. It hasn't stopped for us, but it really hasn't stopped for them either. It's been 24/7. So anyway, here's to to things getting better and to looking forward to some good stuff to come. But one of the things that's happened recently that we wanted to make sure
Yes.
that we sent out our well wishes and our congratulations. The federal election happened not that long ago, and
Correct.
we have so our MP Pat Finnegan retired to enjoy
Hmm.
his family, and you can see my little pooch walking across the back there.
Yeah.
My little
Yeah.
doggy Bud was going heading for his
Yep.
bed there as I saw him across the screen.
Yep.
That's what
Wiggle,
happens
wiggle,
when you
wiggle.
film from home. But yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So our MP Pat Finnegan, who had served the last 6 years, retired, and of course there was a federal election, and the election happened on September 20th. And we want to send out a huge congratulations to all the candidates for sure who had their name on the ballot. But we want to congratulate our new MP elect, Jake Stewart. And, we're really looking forward to everything that's to come and for him being a voice in Ottawa for our region. It's an incredibly large area for him to be the voice for, but we know that he's up to the task, and we're looking forward to what's to come in the coming months and years.
Yes, definitely. Congratulations to him. So excited that he's getting this opportunity. And I don't doubt for a minute that he's going to handle it with all the poise and finesse that, he's shown that he's been able to do thus far.
Yeah, and it was amazing to see the caliber of candidates that presented themselves for the election, especially in our area here. So, really, I mean, we had two former ministers on the ballot with Lisa Harris and
Hmm.
Jake Stewart. So
Yep.
it was going to be a win-win for us, and now we have those results, and we're thrilled and looking forward, as I said, to what's to come. So, um, so Halloween, Audrey.
Yes.
Do you
Is around the corner.
do you it is like, do you dress up like, do you get right into
I
it?
I would if there was a Halloween party to go to a dance. I do like to dress up. I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. And I've managed to talk my husband into dressing up one time. I believe I dressed up as a Pan Am flight attendant from way back in the
Mm.
1960s, and I talked my husband into being a pilot. That was a big hit. And we went as police officers one time as well. I do enjoy the dressing up and having a masquerade kind of costume party. I am in no way an advocate for being scared to death out of my daylights and frightened by any means. I don't sit and watch the scary movies. I'm not a big fan of going to haunted houses. It's not a I don't find it fun. I don't find it, oh my goodness, that was so. I find there's many other things that I would rather do for excitement than to be scared out of my wits.
Yeah, it's not my thing either. I would rather watch an escape type movie like, the Marvel comics,
Oh yes.
that kind of thing. But yeah, like
Hmm.
I want to escape when I see my movies. I don't want to read some or watch some scary stuff. But anyway, you know what? It's some people love it. I know a lot of people actually who
Yeah.
absolutely adore the this time of year, especially around Halloween. And there's a friend of mine, Sandy Mullins. She used to work for the radio station here. Every year, she comes up with the most amazing costumes I've ever seen, and she makes them all herself, and she does her own makeup.
Oh,
And
go on.
like, like, oh yeah, like one year she was Ursula from The Little Mermaid, and then she was Colonel Sanders from KFC, and like
See?
she's absolutely, I love it. She's amazing. I don't have that creativity nor patience
No.
to do it, but she absolutely is phenomenal, and I love seeing the pictures every year that she posts now, and get to see what she's come up with.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I do know a few people who are incredibly, incredibly talented when it comes to that, and absolutely love Halloween. I think she would even get married on Halloween night if she if she could talk her fiance into it. Um, she would absolutely do that for sure.
Yeah. Well, oh my goodness. Anyway, it was exciting over the weekend. We don't have much time left in the segment, but it was exciting over the weekend. I got to attend a wedding, and I want to send out a huge congratulations to Allie and Chris, who got married. And it was just such a privilege to be able to be there, and especially with everything going on with the COVID protocols in place, it was a
Mm.
wonderful thing to see and be a witness to. So to everybody that's about to celebrate something, congratulations from us, and enjoy it, and savor the moment. So, you know what, Audrey, we have two amazing guests coming up that we're going to talk about so many things happening over the next few weeks and that have already been happening. So don't go too far, everybody. We have lots to talk about. And of course, Audrey will be with me for the rest of the show. So go grab a snack. I always say that because I love a snack, but go grab a snack and maybe a cold drink or a warm drink, depending on what you might want, especially add a little bit of pumpkin spice. And we'll see you right after the break. Thanks, everybody. Don't go too far. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined by my ever lovely, always fabulous co host, Audrey Lynch.
Yes, welcome back, everybody.
Yes, yeah, and it's a wonderful day here. We're excited to be back together again, and into our new season. We are in our eighth season. It's hard to believe,
That's
but
right.
here we are, and we have two amazing guests that are going to join us today. And our very first guest, we're going to welcome Jeff Wilson.
Hey, good
Hello, Jeff.
afternoon. Great to meet you folks.
Nice to have
We're
you on the
so
show
glad to
today.
have you. Yep, so glad to have you here today. So, Jeff, we know all about you, but tell the viewers a little bit about you so that they can get to know you as well.
Well, I'm 58 years old, so it'll be a long story, but let's just condense it down to the fishing stuff. So,
Sounds good.
yeah,
Sounds
I've
good.
been the competitive angler for 35 years, and about 5 or 6 years ago, met up with the Miramichi to try and start up the Striper Cup, which was, part of accumulation of a lot of experience running great events, and just happened to be up there and thought we should do something like that. And so having my experience of competitive bass angling, running tournaments in the rest of the province, that kind of my background as a hobbyist. As a professional, I'm a vice president of business development for a national brand, traveling the country and worldwide developing business. So hobby and business kind of together, developing events, those sorts of things, right?
Amazing.
So, how did you, Jeff, how did you get involved specifically in sport fishing from there?
You know, about 1996, my brother asked me to go to a bass tournament. Never seen one before. Went up there and was fishing, trying to catch these things. I had a Field and Stream magazine out. I was looking at the pictures and trying to see if I was catching the right thing. We ended up winning the tournament for $2,000. I should have quit then. I was ahead. Uh, since then, spent hundreds of thousands. That hooked me though. I'm a very competitive individual. The adrenaline, the night before a tournament, I'm like a 5-year-old kid getting a bicycle for Christmas. I can't sleep. And at 58, to have that kind of excitement and enjoyment in your life, it's a real blast, So that got me hooked, and I've been at it for a long, long time. And I felt that it was really important as I got older to bring something back into the sport and try and introduce a lot of people, working with the New Brunswick Sport Fishing, working with MB Bass, working with those groups, all trying to entice the kids into the sport, right? Give back to the sport you love.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Um, Talk to us a little bit. I mean, we here on the Miramichi love this event. And being on city council, it's such a great thing for me to see the economic spinoff and what it brings for the city. But talk to us a little bit about how the Striper Cup got started and why you decided Miramichi was the place to do it, and take us on that journey a bit.
Well, really what happened was I got invited up to the Miramichi. I was out smallmouth fishing with Bruce Clark and Jason Young and the rest that you probably know those names up from the Miramichi. And they told me that they had bass in the Miramichi. What? So anyway, I got myself invited up, and we were on the river, and oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. So I did it for a couple of years, and I was up there pretty much by myself. And I said, we have to do something to promote this fishery. This is an outstanding opportunity. And so I called Jerry Cormier, Jerry, the previous mayor of Miramichi. And the first thing that he did, he put me in touch with Jeff McTavish. And I met with Jeff. They actually were really excited to meet and talk. Being to training, I sent him a non-compete for 5 years, a non-disclosure. I didn't know that's just my normal training. So they said, no, you don't need that with us. And literally, that has been the motto of our group: is we're on a handshake and we're doing great for the city. We 90 days later had the first event, um, and it was a great success. We were lucky to get the backing of council and the city. And, it's just been a rocket ship straight up. My contacts in the sport fishing industry with great guys like Garmin and Shimano and Abu Garcia, Berkeley and Yeti, and all these, folks, they quickly jumped on because they understand the impact this can have on a community. And I'm sure,
Definitely.
city council knows the seen this as well. The economic impact of people buying boats and fishing gear and stuff because they get hooked. And the Striper Cup is the drug of choice. And so once you start catching fish, you just love it, right? Like repeat and rinse as necessary. And so that's kind of how that all started. Thankfully, Jeff and his group at Economic Development have been excellent to work with, and the council and the mayor and council, they as well. It's just been, as a business development guy across the country, it just shows how powerful when you can get the whole community behind something. I had the head of Berkeley and Shimano on my boat pre-COVID, and they were just amazed at the level of support. We had Mike Holland, the Minister of Natural Resources, on the boat. We had Adam Lorden, the mayor, and we had Pat Finnegan at the time, and they couldn't believe it. They go, "This doesn't happen anywhere else," and it just speaks to the community of Miramichi and how tight knit that is, and how it's so important that the whole community get behind this.
Yeah, we absolutely love it here, and I know that every year as I see that now, of course, not the last couple of years because of COVID, but every year as I see those boats take off on opening day, it is
Yeah,
the most incredible sight that I have ever seen,
yeah.
especially on our river here. So yeah, no, great event. We love it.
250 boats on a flare start, eh? Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah, somewhat exciting, but a little dangerous too. We have
Yes.
but the people are getting really used to it now, so the smaller boats move to the side and the bigger boats take off. But to see 2,000 people along the shores of the Miramichi all out there cheering on the fishing, now that's a sight, boy.
Definitely. Can you tell us, Jeff, why did you decide to sponsor a fall fishing tournament?
Well, to be honest, it's been in the back of our minds. The spring fishery is good. The fish generally leave the river for the summer. They go there in the spring to spawn, and that
Hmm.
striper population travels to PEI, Cape Breton, and up to the Gas Bay. in the fall, the resident population returns to winter under the ice, and there's a fairly good opportunity there to enjoy a great fishery. It's not as robust as the spring, so we felt over the last number of years that um, to try and bring people here. So in the spring, we had some prizes and such that were left over, or they kind of came in late, so to speak. So we felt it was a
Hmm.
great opportunity this year to try one in the fall and just see how that's going. So that was the premise, and then of course you're gonna Jeff, and he had some things on the go, so we got together and came up with the prize package and got the great zombie on the front of the website page, which I think is awesome. So that's how we kind of thought of it, and it's really important for the restaurants and the hotels around the Miramichi in these shoulder months. It'd be nice to see some people. So this is just a start to see what can take place, really.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that shoulder season, as we call it, is so critical, especially, over the last couple of years and or 18 months, we'll say, with COVID. It's been such a tough go for all of our tourism
Yeah.
businesses. So to see something like this come in now is wonderful, and we're so excited. So now, what can participants expect to see in this new Frightful Fishing Fall Classic?
Well, it's going to be very similar to the one we held in the spring with the My Catch app. So you pay $20 to get in, and you download the app, and then when you catch your fish, you take the picture, and then the app's going to ask you if you want a hero shot, and that means a picture of you holding the fish. So we get that picture with the costume, and we're going to be judging that. So it should be really fun getting some great hero shots. I send some off to your producer for the winning fish for the spring. So we hope to see some great hero shots. And then we have prizes for the smallest bass, the most number of bass, and the largest bass. So I think the two top prizes are two Garmin fish finders, but I think we have prizes right down to the top 10. So I think we're giving away around $10,000 worth of merchandise
Wow.
for this fall fishery. And when you look at what we do in the spring, we give away around $100,000. And the spring event has grown to the largest tournament in Canada. So we're pretty proud to have started that 5 years
Wow.
ago and get it to that significant nature so quickly.
We see them on the shore, we see them on the boats, we see our
Yeah,
businesses abuzz in the spring. So it's great to see something coming this fall.
I was just going to say I've been driving the last couple of days up and down the river and seeing quite a number of boats in the water, and I was thinking to myself, "What's up? What?" I was confused at first. I'm like, "The boats are back in the water. What are they fishing for?" So it's great to have you on the
yeah.
show and filling us all in. And it looks like you have a really good number of participants. So what exactly did you have to do for your COVID protocols to put in place in order to have it this time?
So we developed this app last spring in order to keep the Striper Cup going during COVID, and we use those rules
Right.
that we used in the spring to be the same. So we sure look forward to the maybe 2022 and having thousands of our friends come back to the Miramichi. And I have so many sponsors that travel from both the United States and Canada who are so anxious to get back to the Miramichi. I usually have a nice kitchen party with lobster and a few beverages on the Thursday night, and it's well attended, and they just like they can't wait. So we hope this protocol we can pull it off safe, and then next spring hopefully life is getting back to normal. We can, shake some hands and see some of our friends in the Miramichi a little closer up.
Now, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's catch and release, correct?
Absolutely, yes. We promote catch and release. The species has been over harvested in the past. It's almost been down to extinction twice, and humans don't do a great job at looking after our fisheries. So we promote hook and release, absolutely, and promote that. That's kind of my motto is put them back for the kids. And catching is way more fun than fishing, so put them back for the kids. And so I'm a promoter of that. I have been my whole life. Um, don't get me wrong. Taking one home for a feed is all nothing wrong with that. Take one home, but fill in the freezer. That's not appropriate. You're only allowed to have 3 striped bass in your possession. That includes your freezer. So it's a pretty limited catch, but can keep them. We have a slot limit to protect the big females, so that they can go back and have more kids. And the more kids they have, the more slot limit it fills, and we perpetuate this thing. So that's really important, that catch and release, and I'm religious about that. Like, that's all the bass tournaments are always catch and release. And when we first came up with the Striper Cup, we kind of wondered how we'd keep those big stripers alive. Well, but everybody figured it out. And I think we've only killed less than 25 fish in 5 years. And just as an example, we weighed and measured this year 12,500 fish. So when you look at that, the amount of data that the scientists get from that, our striper research team down at Acadia University, Dr. Avery and Dr. Easy and all his students, they're here every year at the Striper Cup. They provide stats and they experiments on the fish that we do have mortality. They actually take the ear out and shave it like a tree and can tell how old it is, where it lives, what it eats. It's incredible what it does.
You had gone through a few of the prizes already, and you have a number of different sponsors, do you, Jeff?
Yep, for sure. So the number one, we have great sponsors of and a lot of them, these are just leftover prizes, but the local companies like Miramichi Marine and LJ Patterson's and Deals for You and Town Ford, they're all always there to support the community. But big fishing brands like Garmin Electronics were giving away 2 fish finders, Yeti coolers, Doran Enterprises prizes and outfitters there in the city, Bass Pro Shops. We're giving away Shimano gear. We're giving away Abu Garcia and Penn gear. We've got prizes from all sorts of different fishing enthusiast companies who have supported us over the last 5 years. So that's really important. So
Amazing.
and we expect, really, for us, it's a good thing because we're giving this to the sponsors. We didn't ask them for anything extra. It's a bit of a promo to get in their brain during budget time. Hey, the Striper Cup, those guys are really nice. We need to give them more stuff next year. Right? So it's
Absolutely.
all good.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe, but we're out of time. But we want to make sure that we'll have you back in the spring just before the Striper Cup. And we know that this year is going to be amazing as we do the Fall Classic. And then we get ready for 2022 for our full on back to being everybody on their.
I tell you what, I'm going to take you out fishing and we're going to blow away your previous record.
Sounds good. It's not hard since I only caught one in my lifetime, so I'm looking forward to it. So
there
thanks
you
so much,
go.
Jeff. And
The bar is low. The bar is low.
It is. That's exactly it. It is. So we wish you a ton of success over the next few weeks, and we'll see you in the spring. Now, don't go away. We'll be right back after the break. We've got another great guest to talk about what's going on here around the city and around the region. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined by my most wonderful co-host, Audrey Lynch.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Judy wasn't able to be with us today. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict. She had some things going on. So, but we are very excited to talk to our next guest, and we're staying in the theme of what's going on this fall. And welcome Jeff McTavish, Director of Economic Development and Tourism for the City of Miramichi.
Hello, Jeff.
Well, thank you, ladies. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
We're so glad to have you. So, of course, Audrey and I know you because you've been on the show before. We know you from all you do in the community, but let's tell the viewers a little bit about you.
All right, my name is Jeff McTavish. As you previously said, I am the Director of Economic Development and Tourism for the City of Miramichi. I've been doing that job for about 15 years. I have a wonderful wife of 21 years, Jocelyn. I've got 4 children, and very proud Miramichier, and again, happy to be doing what I do, because every day is an adventure. Never one day has been the same at this job, so it's great.
I have no doubt.
I can imagine.
I have no doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. So can you tell us, Jeff, what prompted the development of the haunted happenings?
Certainly. So back in, I would say, 2016, the City of Miramichi and the Miramichi River Tourism Association came together to try to invigorate what was currently happening in our tourism industry. So we had lots of activities going on in the summertime. We had the Rock and Roll Festival, we had the Irish Festival, we had the Folk Song Festival, we had car racing, we had, different types of smaller events and festivals going on. But where we were lacking was in the springtime and in the fall. So the Miramichi Striper Cup was our solution to accomplishing something more in the summer, to try to bring more people, more room nights, more activities in the restaurants and in the shops. But we were still kind of lacking in the fall. So we kind of looked at what was going on in all across New Brunswick to see if there was anything that was missing. And Halloween was kind of missing. So Halloween's a big deal to a lot of people, including myself. I'm a huge fan of Halloween. Like, I would take 4 Halloweens over any Christmas anytime. Like, I'd take 4 of those a year. But with the little bit that was going on here, there was dances going on. So we really had to get in touch with our partners to see if they would be willing to offer maybe an expanded idea that they normally did not do. And thus we reached out to a bunch of groups. We found some people that also loved Halloween. And so now we've got a full slate of events basically starting this, I think it's the last week of September, right up till October 31st.
Well, isn't that fascinating? Because I will say that I am a fall lover, but I am not a Halloween enthusiast. We'll go with that. The extent of my dressing up on Halloween is I paint the cat nose and the whiskers on, and I put the little ears on. But that's okay, because the great thing is that everybody's got their own thing, right? So talk to us a little bit about what some of those offerings are, what some of the haunted happenings are going to be.
Yeah, so not all of them are costume based, or that require that you get right into it. Some of them are very subtle. So it kind of starts out in September. Now this event, unfortunately, this is our last year that we may have it unless another group picks it up. But the professional engineers and geoscientists put on a pumpkin fling every fall, and that took place at Waterford Green this year. It's a great event, good family fun. People can go down and basically set the sights on this huge cannon that they have down, and fire a pumpkin into the Miramichi River at a pre-established target. There were the Downtown Music Festival. This is the second year we were able to have it. It got canceled last year, but it took place. So for music lovers, not really Halloween themed, but certainly they try to incorporate some pumpkin spice and stuff like that into some of the coffees that they were serving, and that was a great event that took place last week. There's the corn maze that's offered at Fletcher's Farm. So again, it has 2 elements. It has the normal, weekend, but as we get a little closer to Halloween, they spice it up a little bit and make it a little bit more scary for those that dare the dark. The Headless Nun's returning this year. She got lost somewhere. I think that happens when you're headless, but she's found her way, and she's going to be back in the Miramichi this year doing scaring the bejesus out of a bunch of people. So that's going to be exciting. We've got graveyard tours taking place. And then there's a few events that are very, very, I guess, near and dear to my heart. So when we talk about, real impact with kids, Trunk or Treat is an event that takes place on usually near as close as we can to Halloween. And it takes place really by the Point Church. They're the ones that lead this charge. I would say the
Mm-hmm.
city of Miramichi and downtown's Miramichi play supporting roles, but the Point Church does a great job putting this event. And we've seen numbers as high as 3,000 people participate in this. And that was challenging last year, trying to keep people socially distanced and only having so many people in the park. So I'm glad the Miramichi Police Force didn't show up. It was great that we were able to get everyone through safely with their masks, and we did follow as many protocols as we possibly could during that event.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yes, definitely. Now, are these events family friendly for the whole family?
I I I would say they are. I did attend the corn maze last year. There was a couple of jump scares, but certainly nothing that is is going to leave you with a bad taste in your mouth. It is certainly a very fun event. Some of them, like for instance, the downtown music festival. It had there was alcohol at some of the venues, so you had to be above the
Oh,
age of
right.
19. But for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, all these events are family friendly. That they were designed that way, so you could bring your children. Just if you know your kids and you think that they might be scared, I would call maybe the event organizers and find out if it is for them. They're certainly going to be open and upfront. They don't want to see anyone leave unhappy. They would like rather see people leave excited
Mm.
and looking to come back the next year.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to the scary stuff. So I did not do the haunted corn maze last year. Probably won't do it again this year. But you know what I loved about the downtown music festival was the vendor kind of area in the park, in Queen Elizabeth Park, in Miramichi West or Newcastle, and they did have some music, and you could go down and wander around and sit and enjoy the park and the nightlife without having to be indoors. So I love these outdoor festivals and events, and I hope that the Pumpkin Fling will be able to come back next year. I know that the organizer had been there for about 19 years, so he really was the driving force there. But hopefully, someone will take that over. But now, of course, as our conversation always does over the last 18 months or so, talk to us a little bit about the COVID protocols on some of the events that are happening. And I know that there was one event that had to be canceled because of the rising case, not had to be canceled, but they decided to cancel because of the rising cases, and that's the Halloween dance put on by the Rotary Club. So talk to us a little bit about COVID and our happenings.
Sure. So each event is really responsible. What we do at the city is we kind of pull everything together from a marketing perspective and try to share that information with the general public that might be interested in. But each event organizer is really responsible for their own management of the event. So as you had indicated, some people had to choose not to do that because they couldn't get the volume of people safely in their venues and make it profitable for them, because not any of these are really running as a charity. They're break even at the most, but in the case of the Rotary Club, I think it would have been very difficult for them to get the numbers inside there and still do it safely. So again, each event is responsible for it. We do encourage people to bring masks with them if they're coming, even though I would say 90% of these events are outdoors where masks aren't required, just for comfort purposes. If you feel like wearing one, certainly protecting you and the people around you. We encourage you to bring your own hand sanitizer. That's an important thing too, to keep your hands clean, because there are some touch points even during these outdoor events. But otherwise, it's really up to the organizer and the comfort level of the participant. And as this evolves, we're when we prepared all this marketing material, we were in a green phase. We 2 days after we launch it, the world kind of
Mm.
changed for us again. So it's getting
True. Yeah.
used to that pivoting and adjusting accordingly. So just please watch what the protocols are for the province of New Brunswick. Bring your own protection, your masks and your hand sanitizer, and respectfully give some people some distance if you don't know who they are. You're not in your own bubble. So
Yeah.
For sure.
Um, I'd have to say I'm on the same page with Veronique. I absolutely love the fall. I love the colors. I love my pumpkin spice and the smell and the leaves. And mind you, I love to dress up and costumes. I do love that part, but I absolutely hate being frightened or scared half to death. I did do a haunted, like a true haunted house one time, and that was it. I draw the line. I'm done. I'm not going to go there. Though my youngest child absolutely lives and thrives upon it. And she's like you. If Halloween could be an actual holiday and be like Christmas, she would be all over it. So where is it that we can find now? You said that there is, that you did up the advertising. So where can we find the list of things that are actually going on?
Sure. So there's a couple of promotions running every week. One place, if you're listening to the local radio stations, they're giving
Mm-hmm.
away prizes, whether it be tickets to various venues or events, or they're going to be doing draws at the end of the month for some great prize packages from some local people. So radio stations, if you want to listen. Facebook we use quite often. Facebook will have a list of all the events. There'll be a calendar under the City of Miramichi page, also being shared on the Discover Miramichi page. And then on our website, which is discovermiramichi.com, there's a fall happening section, and you can go into there to see what's taking place. There's not only the haunted happenings things, there's a lot of things taking place in the region. There's some, like basically some overnighters if you want to get away at some of the lodges and camps. There's some things going on at the apple orchard, some hay rides, things like that. So there's a lot of information on that website. Plus, you'll find the full list of events of haunted happenings.
I know there's a brochure.
It sounds so exciting.
I believe there was a brochure that was put out as well, Jeff. I know they stopped by my place of business and they set them there, and the customers are loving to look and see everything that's going on and are actually getting quite excited for the month of October.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure how many of those brochures are left in circulation. I don't know if you have any left, but they were quite popular. As soon as they were set down, they were gone. So I guess everybody, Audrey's got some brochures if you want to pop in and check them out. So yeah, no, we're quite proud of that booklet. It's something you never know how many to produce, especially in almost in a paperless age. But they still come in handy. Lots of people like to see them and review them and flip through them because there's lots of great information in that booklet.
Fantastic. So Jeff, which event are you looking forward to the most this October?
I've had the pleasure of doing all of them thus far, starting back when we started to create these. So my daughter Kate and I tend to like to go, and Kate loves to be scared and loves to see me scared. So last year was fun because we brought a group of her friends. We went to Fletcher's Farm Corn Maze. So I certainly like that one because they jump out of everywhere to scare you. It's you don't know they're there. They're sitting down on a little. I don't even want to ruin it for you. I think you guys should take Judy and bring a camera with you and go do that one. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
that
can
would
do
be a lot of fun.
Facebook Live. Facebook Live.
But you know what? She loves scary movies. Like she absolutely loves scary movies. I'm the wimp in the family for sure because
Me too.
like those thrillers and everything. I can't because I don't sleep, right? I already don't sleep enough as it is now. So, you add in a scary movie and I'm gone. But she absolutely loves that kind of stuff. So it'd probably be her taking a video of me instead.
Oh, well, that could be equally as fun. But other than Fletcher's Farm, I do enjoy I'm glad that the Headless Nun Tour is coming back. I really look forward to that. And they're going to change it up a little bit. So every year it kind of got a little different, especially it changes when you got different actors participating. So I'm looking forward to that. Historic Chatham Business District's also doing their Great Pumpkin Walk, which is very unscary, but equally as intricate. They did a great job carving those pumpkins, and that was proudly supported by the City of Miramichi also. So we're looking forward to seeing this is year 2 for that activity. Very COVID friendly too. You can walk at your own pace. You can see them, and there's lots of interesting things to see. But I'd have to say Fletcher's Farm really, really does it. If you want to be scared, I would highly recommend that. There's lots of jump scares, and it's not really going to put you out too bad, but that's the one I like the best. The fishing one's going to be fun this year too.
Yeah. I would actually suggest for Fletcher's Farm, maybe for next year, this might be an idea, is to, I don't like to be scared, but like your daughter, I love to watch someone being scared. And they should set up an actual virtual camera in a certain corner where they do scare someone, and I can sit and watch from home all the people going through getting scared.
That's a good idea. Maybe
That's
John
a
and Natalie
great
probably love that
idea.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that is a great idea. So,
I would
just as
pay.
we wrap
I
up,
would pay.
Jeff. See, there you go. We can pay to live stream. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So just as we wrap up, Jeff, any last words that you want to share with our viewers out there as this rolls across the province, and invite them all to Miramichi?
Well, I really think that it's important that, the community understand that this promotion and these events are certainly all supported by the mayor and council. This is I work for a department, but I have masters that I serve, and this event is certainly always supported by the mayor and council. They've done it up to this point. We hope that they'll look at it and consider it for future years. So big thank you to mayor and council for supporting these. Secondly, we couldn't do this without the partners, because we don't really do any of the events. We certainly promote them and support them, but really it's folks like Friends of Beaubears Island and the Beaverbrook House and Historic Chatham Business District, the Downtown Music Festival, Fletcher's Farms, all those folks that are coming together to put these on. I guess lastly, if I was going to give any advice to participants or people that are thinking about it, make sure you call in advance with things that are changing so ever rapidly in our COVID world. You wouldn't want to drive from a distance and be disappointed that either the event's sold out or unable to take place because of COVID. So just maybe check in advance. There's on the website, Discover Miramichi, and on our Facebook page, each event has its own contact. There's either a Facebook or a phone number to get or an email. So reach out before you come, just to make sure that you're not going to be disappointed. We want to see people leave here happy, not sad.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for all you do for the city and for all the coordination for all of our nonprofit groups and organizations that are putting everything on. Huge thank you. And thanks for being a guest today. There's so much to do and see over the next a little bit, and we want to make sure that we invite you here to Miramichi. So have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Take care.